In a climate where developers come under such enormous scrutiny for the quality of their respective games, I was genuinely shocked at the recently released Witcher 4 tech demo. It seems to walk this fine line between clever marketing and something dangerously misleading, albeit unintentional. We all know that gamers possess a certain level of, let's call it, passion when it comes to their opinions on the quality of highly anticipated titles. This passion can, and often does, spiral into what can be best described as mass hysteria, as the game that they've been following for months, if not years, releases in a state tantamount to that of a pre-alpha. Let's be fair though, Cyberpunk 2077 is an extreme case, both in the sheer height of player expectations and the frankly cataclysmic scale of the player backlash. We can recalibrate this graphic to align to any number of games, but very few will be able to match that of Cyberpunk. Even games that, for all intents and purposes, have a successful launch aren't invincible to the hysterical passion I mentioned before. Some of you may be familiar with the Puddlegate phenomenon from Spider-Man. Obviously, this doesn't really hold a candle to the controversy of Cyberpunk, with most level-headed players out there not really paying any attention to something so trivial. Ultimately, a loud minority is still a minority, and in the grand scheme of things, developers and publishers probably won't concern themselves with the ravings of pixel hunting discrepancy seekers threatening their bottom line. But we of course live in an era of social media where these minor imperfections and apparent downgrades can sweep across gaming communities like the spread of wildfire. Coming back to The Witcher 4, let's address something that CD Projekt Red themselves were very keen to clarify. This is indeed a tech demo. This isn't The Witcher 4. It's a sort of Goldilocks representation of what Unreal Engine 5 is capable of producing when partnered with world-leading programmers and artists. As clear as the hosts were about making this distinction, they may be underestimating the fickle nature of gamers. Showing off all these incredible visuals and world interactivity, population density and so on is all very impressive, but it's the equivalent of locking an enormous portion of a game's open world behind inaccessible terrain. Yes, it's there, but we can't actually explore it. In reality, this presentation isn't a far cry from the Unreal Engine tech demos we saw a few years ago showing off the new at the time Nanite and Lumen tech. I do believe that full transparency from CDPR and Epic Games was the objective during this presentation, and at no point do I think they were lying about the footage they captured or the technology that powered the demo. But that transparency comes under fire when they explicitly mention during the demo that it's running at 60 FPS on a base PS5.
What you just saw and are going to see now is running on a standard PlayStation 5 at 60 FPS with ray tracing.
While I'm not doubting its legitimacy, it sets a precedent that this quality can be extrapolated across a full game. Again, I'm not accusing CDPR or Epic for attempting to swindle their fans into buying a game under false pretenses. They don't shy away from pointing out that this is a technological showcase set in the world of The Witcher, and the technical presentation, not actual gameplay text at the bottom of the screen, helps to reinforce that fact. But these types of performance stats are impressive and they carry weight. The controversy surrounding downgrades at this stage is a tale as old as time, or perhaps more aptly, a tale as old as Watch Dogs, a game that is often crowned as being one of the originators for overpromising and under-delivering. The saving grace, one could argue, is that CDPR and Epic's approach ensures that they aren't actually overpromising anything. Instead, they're relying on gamers to remain somewhat pragmatic about what's actually achievable on current systems. And as we all know, pragmatism is the gaming community's defining trait. My once unwavering faith in CDPR was shaken when Cyberpunk 2077 released a few years ago, and while I don't think I'll ever get that sour taste out of my mouth, I can fully appreciate the redemption arc that the game and by virtue the studio has undergone. We all know that CDPR has the capability of delivering outstanding experiences, and it's largely understood that if there is one developer that is able to squeeze out the full potential of Unreal Engine 5, then that developer would be CDPR. I just hope that the showcase doesn't lead to the awakening of a monster that the player base will have no choice but to slaughter.